Thank you so much, Speth. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the final day of Blackheart's Boston Fund. We have 2 amazing runs left, y'all. I'm Pacific, as Speth said. I will be your host for our next rhythm game showcase of Pump It Up by the incredibly talented ZELLOOO.
Thank you very much, Pacific. Hi, everyone. I'm ZELLLOOO, and I'm going to be playing Pump It Up with this giant doohickey right behind me. So this is an arcade rhythm game made by Andamiro back in 1999 as a DDR's competitor. And before we get any farther, I actually have 2 very amazing commentators, if y'all would like to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Haru. I'm gonna do the commentary, and you're actually gonna see me for a bit because the showcase, co-op showcase incentive was met, and I will be the one doing it with ZELLLOOO.
Hello, I am VKIM. Haru and ZELLLOOO here are my Pump It Up parents, as I like to call them, and I'm glad to be commentating with them again for another great cause.
All right, so before we get started, I just want to kind of explain what the showcase entails. So there was a brand new Pump It Up game that was actually just released in Korea this month called Pump It Up Phoenix, and that will be released internationally next month. We're going to be playing Pump It Up XX, the 20th Anniversary Edition, which is was the newest game. And since we're losing some content between XX and Phoenix due to licensing and other things, I wanted to do a little bit different with this showcase song list and kind of showcase some of the stuff that's good that I either haven't done in previous showcases or is going to be removed next game. So you're going to see a little bit of a different song list than some of my previous showcases if you've seen those. Speaking of content, thank y'all very much for donating throughout the marathon, especially for the co-op showcase that'll be happening halfway through. So that's an extra 10 minutes of really awesome co-op play that we'll get to see with Haru later. But as far as things go, I'm just going to be playing for the next hour 10, and Haru and Vincent are just going to take the wheel for commentary. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and start the timer, and let's go ahead and pump it up.
Hey, let's pump it up.
Get your dancing emotes ready, chat.
It's gonna be some hot dancing. So, as you can see, Pump It Up is an arcade game. It has a cabinet with a screen where you see lots going on, but basically that's your gameplay. You see mostly arrow-shaped objects flying from bottom of the screen to the top of the screen, and when they reach the top white area, it's when you have to press panels on this big platform.
Yeah, it's a bit of very nicely. This is basically South Korea's answer to Konami's Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah, a lot of people just call this game Dance Dance Revolution and not distinguishing.
Right.
But this game is pretty different, let's say so. It has different music, it has different style of movement you have to do. It just have different, I don't know, philosophy behind it. First of all, you can see there are 5 panels on the platform, and Dance Dance Revolution has 4. So that's one of the main differences. You can play this game alone, as ZELLLOOO does right now. You can play it with 2 people, 1 person on each side. You can do also other things, as you will see a bit later.
Yeah, this game has a lot of crazy stuff in it. Even if it just has 1 more panel and the layout's just a little bit different.
So, ZELLLOOO started somewhere mid-range. This game has a difficulty scale. It goes from level 1 to level 28. ZELLLOOO is currently playing level 15, so it's basically just gold medal. And if you think you can't do anything like him, just don't be afraid, because he's a pro player. He won several international tournaments, and he's just showing the higher end of the game. But you can always try level 1 or level 2 if you have such a machine in your arcade, and it's much easier to understand and perform.
Of course, we all started from somewhere, or we all start from somewhere. Most important thing is to have fun.
Yeah, that is true. And this game has a lot to offer, like even just music variety. It's awesome.
Right.
ZELLLOOO is currently playing a song from Korean pop group It's a genre called K-pop and pump. They kinda group all Korean popular music, be it pop, be it rap, be it rock. It's funny. But since it's a Korean game, they do have a huge accent on Korean pop music.
Right. It's K-pop has always played like as a huge role in pumping up's history.
Yeah, and nowadays there is a huge division of K-pop fans around the world, so this makes the game popular even outside of Korea. And now we actually switched to a European composer. Waspy was a Pump It Up player himself, and this song was composed for Pump It Up, which is really interesting because that's not the typical kind of music you'll hear in Pump It Up. It has a lot of pretty complex rhythms, and the step sequence actually shows it does not go just straight tap 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 tap. It has pretty broken rhythms, and the movement you have to do during this step sequence is not straight. Some people who just start getting into the game, like into this kind of levels, they find it a bit difficult to move like this. But if you want to get good in Pump It Up, you have to learn different kind of movements, and you have to also learn to read different things. Pump It Up is notorious for having visual gimmicks, not just speed changes like DDR, but also stops and stuttering. I don't think we're gonna see any stuttering today. Oh, I actually do later on. But it's part of what makes the game difficult, being able to process nodes that don't just move straight forward, but do some things of their own.
Right, and you just saw that there was a jump stream there. That's a lot of fast jumps to do. I mean, I also saw some of the wave-like gimmicks there, like the one that looked a little wavy, like the smooth gimmicks that DDR does not have.
And you can also notice that ZELLLOO is pretty much becoming a pretzel, moving his feet over and over. We call this kind of movement tweets or crossovers, depending on what community you're in. And this is kind of skill not many players are actually good at.
Right, you know, twisting requires a lot of energy.
Yeah, it requires a lot of stamina, it requires to know how to balance your body, and you also have to be prepared, so you need some knowledge of what's going on and what's going to happen.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, this game throws a lot at you.
Yeah, so ZELLLOO step 1 level up, it was level 16, and now he's doing a level 18. Do you want to talk a bit about this group, because it's a bit interesting?
Oh, sure, yeah, this is one of my favorite K-pop licenses in XX. This was a K-pop license introduced in this version XX. This song is actually from the Korean survival hip-hop show High School Rapper. One of the rappers here, Haon, is the winner of High School Rapper 2. This song is really nice in my opinion. Like, Pump It Up in its early years had a big emphasis on Korean hip-hop, so it's really nice to have something like this in the game. Unfortunately, this is a song that will not be returning in the latest game, Phoenix. K-pop is often very expensive to license, especially songs that were released in the past like 5 years or so, and Andamiro, the company who produces the game, often prioritizes getting new content over keeping old songs, which is, it's a shame, but it's understandable. You only have so much money for so many things.
Yeah. And the step maker, the person who did the step sequence for this song, they actually reflected that this kind of music was popular back in the day, and the step chart has very old school feeling to it.
Right.
It's actually pretty fun to play without holding onto the red bar. In the early DDR and Pump It Up years, it was way more common to not hold onto the bar and just balance your body by itself. We call it playing no bar. Nowadays it's not as popular because difficulty grows higher and higher, and you just need to use the bar to balance yourself and move faster.
It's okay. It's 2023. We can treat ourselves. It's we don't have to go through such pain.
Hey,
it's okay.
Hey, you don't have to. We have, because when you play co-op, you still have to let go of the bar and keep your balance.
Yeah, I guess there's always a catch. So can't always escape everything.
As we both used to play no bar way more than nowadays, we still can do co-op pretty well.
Right.
It helps.
Oh, it looks like he got a perfect score with triple S. That's
Yeah,
that's all
let's look-
perfects.
Let's talk a bit about grading and judgment and all that stuff.
Sure.
So, you may notice on the results screen there are words that says perfect, great, good, etc., etc. So, perfect is the highest judgment you can get. It means you pressed like splendid, wonderful, perfect. Great means you were slightly off. Either you did not get fast enough or you were a bit early. Good is even worse. Bad, it means you barely hit it, and miss, you didn't hit at all. There are different grades based on how many and what kind of hits you did. Triple S means you only had perfects, as we've seen just now. Zillooo got a triple S. Double S means you get several grades but nothing else. And then S if you did not get misses. A if you got some misses. B if you did not do well, you got a lot of misses, lots of grades and lots of other stuff. And then going down C, D and F. F means like you did very, very bad. I don't think we're gonna see anything below A today, but I hope so.
I'm sure ZELLLOO will do his best.
Yeah, and let's talk about this song because we moved from European and Korean music to actually Japanese music.
Yes, and we are now in Japan, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary pals. This is a J Music license introduced in Prime back in 2015. J Music meaning Japanese music. This was when Andamiro tried to break into the Japanese market with Pump It Up, even making a special Japanese edition of Prime 1 at the time. So in terms of this song, this is a Toho remix. Specifically, I think this is the Stage 6 boss theme for Byakuya and Hijiri from the 12th Toho game, Undefined Fantastic Object. So Toho remixes have gotten very popular in rhythm games over the years, so it was only a matter of time before Pump It Up also joins in on the trend.
Yeah, there are quite a few Toho remixes, and even losing some Japanese music in the common mix, there are some originals for Toho remixes, so we're still gonna have some. And this was level 20.
Yep. Oh, and don't worry, we have Bad Apple in the game, everyone's favorite Toho remix.
Only one grade.
Only one grade.
And you can see it's a double S instead of triple S. You may notice that ZELLLOO just game over pretty much. Because it's arcade game, you can't just have continuous play. You have to virtually insert your credit, and you have a limit of 3 or 4 songs depending on the settings of your machine. That's a bit of downside if you have the machine at home, but it's not. You're not supposed to.
Right, it was made for arcades after all.
Yeah, you can see it's pretty big. It takes the whole room, and it's really tall.
It is quite a very big toy. A big and expensive toy. Ah, God Mode 2.0.
Yeah, it's an original tune, means it's exclusively licensed and composed for Pump It Up game.
Right. So this is a sequel to God Mode from Prime 2. Same people involved, Nato in production and Schizo as a featured rapper. Schizo is American and he currently lives in South Korea. I think the sequel song was first featured in Pump It Up M, which was for mobile devices, and I think this is the first Pump It Up M song to be crossed over to the arcade.
First Pump It Up M original.
Right. Unfortunately, the mobile game is no longer in operation as the company has shifted all Pump It Up related focuses back to the arcade series, but I certainly hope this will not be the last mobile song to be put into arcade. They have a lot of really good stuff in there, and I really hope to see it.
You may see as the difficulty goes up, ZELLLOO is becoming more and more pretzel. He has to move really, really fast, and this step chart is very, very twisty.
Right.
Just look at his feet so fast.
Imagine playing with your hands and then trying to do this with your feet and your body.
Funny enough, I'm better with my feet than my hands.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm really not good when I try to play Stepmania.
Yeah, there's just a lot of different muscle memories involved. Oh yeah, those are some pretty fast turns right there.
Yeah, very spicy step chart.
Right.
You can make songs difficult in many different ways and pump it up. You can have stamina test with a long endless run. You can have some twist. You can have visual gimmicks. You can have also different kind of texts, say brackets, when you have to use your foot to press not one panel but two panels at the same time. That check on its own.
Yes, the bracketing technique.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen many brackets yet.
Maybe not yet, but I think the next song that he'll be playing probably will include
it's
quite a lot of
included,
stuff. It's a very
included,
technical chart, yeah.
It's including a different technique that I haven't mentioned
right.
yet.
Here we have Loki.
Yeah, this is a pretty old song, and it's also a part of Cross event, so it was crossed over into Pump It Up from a different game, Easy to Arcade. And Easy to Arcade got a Pump song in exchange.
Right. Yeah, so this song is very, I wouldn't say infamous, but very iconic for like the use of this very technique called foot switching, which is, these are a bit more difficult to identify right away. Foot switches may look like a 2-note jack into a double step, so it seems like you have to hit that like with one foot, but don't be fooled. The multiple jacks are actually where you need to switch your feet. That is when you hit the first note of the supposed jack, you switch to your other foot to hit the second note, and the rest should follow accordingly. It's a pretty tricky technique. Foot switches, from my understanding, aren't widely used in Pump It Up. Even still, I don't believe, so they'll take a lot of practice.
Well, they actually were used in very early charts, and then their use came down because
right.
The team realized it's not very doable on the old engine, but since hardware and engine improved over years, now it's more used, and people trying to learn that foot switches were more used in The Groove, another 4-panel game, so now players who majored in The Groove have some advantage in Pump It Up with this kind of step charts.
Right.
You have to lift your feet really high because you need to depress the panel, and since you're pressing the same panel over and over, it's a bit tricky with the timing especially.
We have those bracket foot switches right there.
Yep.
It's very mean.
You may also notice that Pump It Up has a lot of bright videos on the background. It's kind of famous for having videos, unique videos for almost every song.
Right.
Glad you have an option to make them slightly darker. You can see ZELLLOO using VGA dark modificator, but you still can see it.
Definitely makes it easier on the eyes. For anyone watching who is very sensitive to light and very bright colors, you are welcome. Hopefully this helps.
Yeah, there will be one song coming when it's not gonna help too much.
Oh, we are not looking forward to that.
Yeah, ZELLLOO does not like that song.
Ooh, Hellfire! We're getting into the classic remixes now, the one that Pump is also very known for for a very long time.
Yeah, it was one of the most known features in the early Pump days.
Right, so this is an original track produced for the game by Korean artist Meme. This song is a classical remix of the third movement of Antonio Vivaldi's Summer from the Four Seasons. And I think this is one of the launch songs in Prime 2 at the time.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Just throws a boss song at you right away.
Yeah, the song was introduced pretty early in Prime 2, but this step chart was added much later. They have ability to add difficulties later on in the game. They also have updates during the lifetime of the game, adding new songs, new step charts, new functions, lots of stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the nice thing about Pump It Up compared to other rhythm games is they're not confined to like a finite number of difficulties. Like you'll see that, you'll saw like those orange and green balls and numbers. Like, oh, what do those mean? You can have as the orange balls mean singles charts, the green balls means doubles charts. I'm pretty soon for co-op you'll see the yellow ones. That's for co-op, and the nice thing about that is that was a change since Fiesta 1, if I recall. That allows you to just have theoretically as many singles or doubles charts for a song.
Well, they're limited by visible number of circles, which is 13.
Right.
So what ZELLLOO is playing right now we call singles because he's only taking one half of the platform.
Don't worry, pretty soon you'll be seeing doubles, which is
well,
it's a lot.
There's two people gonna take two halves, and then ZELLLOO can move to taking it all by himself.
Right.
Anyways, I need to go downstairs now and join him for the showcase, so I'm leaving it to VKIM to continue for now.
Oh lord.
Be back soon.
Hello, good luck. And that was Hellfire. It seems like he got one bad. So as probably for the grades mentioned before, he got an S. And so you can get that pre-Phoenix, where as long as you do not get a miss, and as long as like you have a pretty good number of perfects and greats, you can get an S. You know, make yourself feel a little better, even more. Oh lord, this song. Where do I even start? Ooh, this song is a thing. It's very infamous. So
I'm going to quickly give a quick flashing warning, just because there are some very intense effects in this chart. So if you feel sick about halfway, please look away.
Oh no, absolutely, please do. Oh, why must you pick this song for the showcase? This is brutal. So this Mope Mope appears in various rhythm games. This was originally made for a BMS contest. BMS means B Music Source, which was developed for a simulator of Konami's Beatmania series. So this song is incredibly notorious for its seemingly innocent yet... should I even say it, or just wait till we get to that part? Looks can be very deceiving, is all I will say. I'm sure that part will come very soon. But also, this song is, this was added when, I think in the end of Double X's lifespan, before we didn't have really any updates in a while. Because Double X was not supposed to last like 4 to 5 years, but then, you know, the COVID-19 pandemic happened, and that kind of screwed everything over. There's the very suspicious part right there. But yeah, no, this chart is also very rude. It's just, you'll see that's gonna be nothing but like a bunch of nonsense. Probably like some flashing lights, just non-stop runs, and this is where I meant by looks can be very deceiving. So it's it seems like very innocent, but it's actually a very like almost like a jump scare song of sorts. So some parts of this background video has been censored in virtually all the rhythm games that they're in. Here they just blurred out the scary parts. I don't know if that was Onamiro's decision or if that was actually negotiated with the people involved in the song. But yeah, as you can see here, you did have a lot of like these random, like these short stuttering gimmicks, all these bracket techniques. It's just nothing. It's just very rude. You need a lot of stamina for this, and looks like they made it through. Everything is all peaceful, I hope. Nope, never mind. It's one of those indie horror games. It's, you know, it actually gives off those vibes now that you mentioned. I haven't really put it that way until like you have mentioned that. So that's very, very interesting. I believe this is the end of ZELLOO's singles run, and they are now getting into co-op. So co-op is a very special mode. This was first introduced as well, kind of as another charts like in really old games, and then it was eventually as double performance into the Fiesta series, and now it has its own mode since Prime 1 as co-op. These are 2 players involved for a mode, and you're probably thinking, wait, isn't this kind of like versus mode with? Not really. So it's co-op charts. It's both players have to cooperate and kind of work together. Once I get into the song in a bit, I will explain further on the gameplay visuals. So it should be a pretty easy co-op starter, Soro no Shirabe. This is a song from Tatch Music Circle, who are mainly known for their Toho remixes. There's another song from the Japanese version of Prime 1. Eventually made it over to the international release of Pump. And as you can see here, you have one player is the red arrows and the other player is the blue arrows, and they basically just cooperate and just play a very unique chart. Some challenges is, one, you have to learn how to play doubles. Two, it's the transitions, and depending on how hard the co-op chart is, depending on what kind of patterns that they throw at you, it's you might end up stepping on each other's foot, especially if you're playing for your first time, and that can be proven to be very unpleasant, especially if you're playing at an arcade. But no, my Pump It Up mom and dad here knows their ish, and it seems like they're doing very well. Another thing with co-op is that each note is counted individually, so you'll see that the combo goes in supposedly in increments of like 2, 3, 4. And that's a pretty good call because, you know, one person could hit the arrow and another person could miss, but it won't penalize you like straight away, as opposed to having each like quote-unquote jump or every single note on that line count as just one single note. But yeah, it seems like he's got it. Co-op is very, very fun for everyone just getting into doubles or everyone just getting into Pump It Up and always wanting to see this. It's a nice way to, you know, just have fun with the game.
Wow, you're awesome.
And I see that they have gotten a double S together. That is actually very good. Cooperation is key. I hope they don't step on each other's feet.
Next stage.
Alright, up next, it looks like we have... They are going to play a pretty cool chart. But another thing for co-op, you'll see that it'll have like ×2 or ×3 or 4. That indicates the number of players required for that co-op chart. So you can do up to 5. And Phoenix has introduced colors. More colors for players 4 and 5. So I believe it's the... Player 1 is red, Player 2 is blue, Player 3 is yellow, Player 4 is, I think, green, and Player 5 is purple. Very interesting choice of colors, but I think it works. What you're playing right now is a classical remix of Für Elise by Ludwig van Beethoven from Fiesta 2 by Dimashura, or, well, I think it was also originally from Infinity, which is a spin-off Pump It Up game targeted for the Western audiences. So Infinity was... Let's see. I don't know why my mind is blinking, but... Oh, that's right. So, a little quick fun fact. Haru, ZELLLOO, and I actually worked on Infinity. So it's pretty cool to see one of the songs in our game to be making over in the main line. So some of you may recognize Dimashura, credited for Elise from their works in DDR. He is also a very good friend of mine, as we have both been living in the state of Georgia here forever now. But for this chart, it's pretty cute. It's almost like each player takes turns playing a part of the piece. Like one person is on the treble and another person is on the bass part of the piano. In other words, like it's almost like as if one person is taking like the top part of the piano and the other person is playing like the bottom part. It's almost like you're playing like a piano piece. And that's something that's really cool that you can do for co-op when it comes to, you know, patterning and stuff. Like you can do some very creative stuff. But I will say some of these transitions are a little awkward, as you can probably see from the body cam. But it seems like they got it. Amazing. Another great, fantastic play from Haru and ZELLLOOO. Oh, looks like another double S. That is actually very good. Trying to get triple S's in co-op is pretty hard because that requires both players to get all perfects. And I believe the next song that they're going to be playing is going to be significantly harder than the last two that they just played. if we can get to it. This game has a lot of co-op charts now, by the way, so tons of songs to choose from.
Did y'all have time for a quick donation?
Oh yeah, of course. Go for it.
We have $10 from Bobby Blackwolf saying, haven't been around to watch during the weekend, but I'm glad to see the initial goal met. Here's some more to adopt a cat. Congrats on 4K. That's right, and we do have that incentive open for our next run, our final run, which is Stardew Valley Marriage Percent by Blackheart Wings herself. We have a bid war between Adopt a Pet, cat versus dog. Currently, Adopt a Dog is in the lead, but Adopt a Cat just got $10 closer to overtaking Adopt a Dog. Do we have any cat lovers in the chat? Give those donations in if you want to see Gabby adopt a cat. And I also hear that adopting a cat is faster, so if you are also a fan of speedrunners and going fast, give those donations in, and make sure to mention in your comment that you want to put it towards either the cat or the dog incentive.
Ooh, fun. I'd love to see how that bidding war ends. Alright, so it looks like here they are playing Very Nice by the group 17. This is another K-pop song introduced in Double X that, unfortunately, will not be returning to Phoenix. If you have came into this block pretty late, just as a reminder, K-pop released within the past, 5 years or so is often very expensive to license, even standalone or even in bulk. And Andamiro, the company who produces the game, often wants to prioritize getting new content as opposed to keeping old songs, and especially old licenses, so they're often the first to go. It's often a shame, but you kind of have to pick and choose. They only have so much money to do things. But yes, this chart is pretty tricky. There's a lot more 16th runs in here, and they just dealt with a slowdown, as we just saw. That requires a lot of coordination, and you'll see that they're playing no bar also, and that requires a lot of balance. And it looks like there's a lot going on, and there is. But this chart especially is quite a lot of fun. I'm sad to see it go for Phoenix. So if you have a Double X machine near you, definitely give it a try. And definitely say goodbye to a lot of the K-pop songs that'll probably be gone in Phoenix. I believe they have one more co-op song to play for this little nice short segment, which is Asterios Re-Entry. This song is pretty cool. This is another crossover song from Easy to AC. So a little bit about Easy to AC if Haru did not get to it before. So Pump It Up as of Prime 2, they work with a lot of Korean companies now to try to bring in some crossover stuff. It's a little neat idea. Personally, I'm all for that. It's very similar to how Bimani, they share a lot of songs within their own in-house titles, like DDR or 2DX and Sound Voltec sharing a lot of songs and crossing over some stuff. And so this is from the songs from the Korean rhythm game Easy to AC. This was formerly known as Easy to DJ, but it became known as Easy to AC as the rights of the franchise were given to another company. And it's nice. It's a nice little trance song. And it is a pretty neat, but also tricky chart. You'll see that those little 16th bursts right there. And there's a little cute segment where it's you have one player just playing one part of the song. Yes, right here. This is a perfect example of one player follows a different part of the song. Oh, and patterns like those are often very tricky, especially I feel sorry for whoever is short and they end up being in the back, and they're playing with a very tall person in the front. So sometimes have to bend down, and you just kind of have to work together because it is, for a rhythm game, it is pretty important to see the notes. that you're trying to hit. Oh, of course. Easy 2's history is just... There's a lot. It's all over the place. And it looks like this is the... that is it for this one. I believe this is the end of their short co-op segment. That was co-op in Pump It Up. I really hope you enjoyed seeing that. It's probably one of the best unique modes they have in this game. I think this is really what really stands out for Pump It Up.
Everyone say bye to her so she can go back upstairs and not die like I will.
And coming up next, we are now going to be entering doubles, which is one player deals with both sides. That's a nice transition, you know, you're going from singles to co-op and then doubles. It's pretty funny.
Y'all got time for another donation?
Of course.
We have $20 from Terpreter. Comment saying, "Cat, adopt the cat." That's right. We are back to being tied for that bid war between cat and dog, y'all. So any donation now can turn the tide towards cat or dog. Get your donations in if you want to see cat or dog for our next Stardew Valley speed run.
If it helps, Pump It Up has a lot of cats in their background videos. So for all the cat lovers in the chat, you know, that's an incentive right there.
Yeah, we don't have any cat lovers in the chat, do we? Let's see. Are you team cat? Are you team dog?
Oh, seems split. It's gonna be interesting. Oh, it would have made sense to play Get Up and Go, because the background video for that is literally like a mechanical dog versus a mechanical cat.
There are a lot of cat songs in Pump It Up, and very few dog songs.
Right.
So I think we know the preference. Also considering what several of Pump It Up mascots are cats.
Right.
Did you tell them about the halt in this step chart?
Alright, so the holds in the beginning, that requires some very special, like, bracketing technique or so, and then, like, your feet is kind of, like, in a very awkward place.
Yeah, in general in Pump It Up, you don't have to step on the head of hold precisely. You can step in advance and it will still register. But in some step charts, they may enforce you to step precisely on the head of hold, and you don't know most of the times until you, like, trip on it, or
right.
if you're like me coming from DDR and just pressing most of the holds. And anyways,
right. So a little bit about more about this song. This is a K-pop license from Prime 2. This is from the group 101, which was formed through the second season of the Korean reality TV talent show Produce 101. This group disbanded a few years ago, and unfortunately, this is yet another K-pop song that will not be returning to Phoenix. So here's one of their songs to remember them. You could say this chart is very energetic. No pun intended.
yeah, ironically, the song is not so energetic. It's more the step
It's
chart.
more the chart is very energetic.
Yeah. We will regret it going because the chart is very fun for such a middle-range song. It's very, very fun.
It is. I'm sad to see it go.
But it's been with us for what, 6 years?
Quite a while, yeah. So it's had a good run.
It's been longer than we would have expected. Yeah, because stuff happened in the world, Pump It Up XX stayed with us for much longer than it was supposed to. Typically, Endemiro runs their games on a 2-year cycle, and Pump It Up XX is almost 5 years old by now, 4.5.
Right. Red Swan. Alright, so this is an original song from Prime 1 by a very iconic and legendary producer, Yop. This was Yop's new song for Pump since Fiesta 1 in 2010, if I recall. So a little bit about Yop. He was one of the members of the former group Banya, who was Andemiro's in-house band. So Yop himself was involved with Pump It Up ever since the very first game back in 1999, and even eventually like directing a few games during his prime. Another pun. So he eventually left Banya and Andamero to pursue his own solo endeavors, but that did not stop him from contributing more music to the game.
He was actually visiting the United States not so long ago, and we were lucky to meet him when he was in our town. It was really cool because we are both pretty old school players, so we know his songs a lot and know his contributions.
Right, that must have been a very special treat when he came to visit y'all.
Yeah, we asked him to sign the poster for the games that he was pretty much the main producer for.
Right.
He appreciated it a lot.
Right. So this chart has a lot going on. There's a lot of stops, there's a lot of brackets, and there's just there's just a lot. So he's playing, like, you probably saw the blue circle. Those are called performance charts. Those were originally performance charts were originally meant for like freestyling, but eventually they just kind of spun off to just being very quote unquote special charts, as you clearly see here.
Oh, off charts.
Oh yeah, like off charts.
Yeah, and this is one of the good examples how you can make the song difficult without making it physically difficult. Because this is all about foot positioning and reading. Yeah, and Zillooo is showing off, like he likes to do. Just using his knees to hold the hold, even though you don't need to.
That's a very nice swan finale right there. You will make for a great ballet dancer.
I think there are now 3 remixes of this classical Timon Pump.
There is, yeah. This is a classical remix of Swan Lake by Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky. This is probably this might be the third one, because I think there's Ugly D from NX and there's Black Swan from Double X.
Tchaikovsky, you saying?
I think so. Yeah, Tchaikovsky.
Sure. Yeah, there are three different versions. They all differ in style a lot.
It's pretty funny.
And they're all different colored swans.
Right. Pick your favorite swan. Like this swan, except
this is a Vocaloid swan.
Yeah, it is a Vocaloid swan.
This is actually a song from an anime, and I made myself watching this anime, and it was pain. I do not recommend.
Right, it's from the Mikagura School Suite project. They also have a light novel and a manga about it.
Yeah, this red-haired girl is the main character in the anime.
Right, this is another Japanese license when they were trying to break into the Japanese market with Prime 1.
Yeah. It's actually one of the better licenses for my taste.
Right.
I like this kind of energetic songs, and we have, what, 4 Last Note songs?
I think so, and they're all gone in Phoenix, but...
Very sad.
Yeah, but I think they had a pretty good run for what it's worth.
But they're so popular, they could have kept them, but...
Right. Yeah, Last Note is very popular for their Vocaloid works also, so...
So this is a level 21, but there's nothing really hard going on yet.
Yeah, if I recall, this chart, it just throws a very fast run at you at the very end.
Yeah, so there's a quality for each song called BPM, beats per minute. It indicates how fast the song goes. And the higher the BPM number, the faster your feet will move if you have the same type of, like, the same speed of notes, 16th or 8th notes, if you know the music theory.
Yep.
So this is 16th note run, and it's like, you have to move your feet very, very fast. Or in Pump It Up, timings window are so wide you can actually cheat by bracketing that run partially. You can even acid by bracketing. I know some people who did.
Right.
Wow, you're awesome!
You're awesome, only 2 grades. That's very, very good on this fast song.
Right, that's very good.
Yeah, we call this quality foot speed when you can move your feet really, really fast. And not everyone got it. Yeah, ZELLLOO is very multi-talented player. He can twist, he can read the tricky stops, he has foot speed, he has stamina, so yeah. This showcase gonna show it all.
You know, speaking
And
of
Dylan-
Banya, when we
Yeah,
were talking
go-
about Yop, here we go, Banya production. Just wanted to throw it out there.
Not Yap's Banya song.
Not Yop, but
I want to
this
say
was,
this is the best song I picked out of the entire list because it has the lyrics, got a pinky ring the size of Texas. Take that as you will.
Yeah, ZELLLOO is Texas born, so it's
ah,
special for him.
but does ZELLLOO have the pinky ring the size of Texas, though?
I don't think so. Yeah, so this is one of other new step charts that were added much later than the song was introduced to the game.
Right. There's a lot.
And-
There's like those really quick bursts. And you have
Yeah,
to move between both sides of the pad like almost very quickly.
I think it's following rap, right? Or
Yeah, I think so.
It's following the guitar riffs. I think
Right.
probably both. Yeah, but this song deserves something harder because there's lots going on in the music, and the step chart that originally was introduced with. They were difficult, yeah, but they were not like high end. This is double 22 for the comparison, and original double was 18. So it's 4 level difference. 4 level on the scale of 1 to 28, in case you missed the introduction of this showcase.
So you're probably hearing from this chorus right here that the song shares similarities with Feel Good Incorporated by the band Gorillaz.
Yeah, and if you watch carefully the background, you can see part of the lyrics appearing in there.
Right. Oh, there's that really fast run. He's going fast.
Yeah, it was a trend at some point to do lyrics backgrounds. I kind of find those neat. But sadly, when the game moved from SD to HD definition, they had to deform their backgrounds, and now you kind of missing some of the lyrics. And we see one grade again.
One great.
So close to all perfect score. And considering the pressure of having a showcase, I think it's amazing to have such an accuracy.
I agree.
Yeah, so Pump It Up is slightly different from some other music games currently because it doesn't pay that much attention to accuracy, but the main accent of the scoring is combo. But in the new game, in Phoenix, they moved away from the current scoring and made something closer to what we know from DDR, from other music games when accuracy is the most important part. Yeah, we still don't know how we feel about this change because not much time passed and the combo scoring was there for what, 23, 24 years now. We're way too used to it.
Right. Oh, looks
Changes-
like we got a little bit of red line.
Oh yeah. This is another American composer, I think.
I think Arcaflux is European. I think he's from the UK.
Oh.
But yeah, this is a Neon FM crossover song from Prime.
Yeah. You actually worked on Neon FM, didn't you?
I did. I worked on some charts for the game.
Yeah, so Neon FM game was made separately, and then Endemir somewhat took it under his wing for some time.
Right.
That's why Pump It Up has few crossovers from Neon FM, and Neon FM has some Pump It Up songs. That was the third game in the set of cross games. Yeah, and the specific of this step chart, it has runs that use only for middle panels, and middle 4 panels on the edge of 2 pads is the part where most players have problems reading it because all the arrows are so close to each other, and you also have to be precise with your movement because panels are very close to each other. You can see, like, if you play on one side, there is a huge metal panel in between panels that you press, but if you play in the middle 4 panels, there is nothing, so you can accidentally slide over. Have to be accurate there.
Right. Oh, a lot of people have a lot of trouble with the middle 4 arrows, especially when in a run like that only focuses on the middle 4, because people can get tripped up really easily.
Yeah, and some people just resolve to jump in 12 knots
Right, they just try to cheat those as much as they can.
But it's not always the best way. Some people can cheat good, like manipulate the pattern, as we say. Oh wow, one great again.
One great again. Where's Roberto?
Yeah, so we have a person in community called Roberto who used to get one great or one good or one miss scores a lot, and it became kind of a community meme, and when somebody gets a 1, we call it Summon Roberto. I know Korean players call it a curse of 1, so it's different by community.
And if you get 2 of something, then it's called a redouble. Because that's all that's
because it's one of the other names of that player. It's funny. We will have a whole group where everyone can share their upsetting scores. Oh, let's talk about this song.
Oh lord. Why is my dad picking this song? He's gonna feel the fire.
Sorry, it's a very hype song. Hit the
It
fire.
is. Yeah, this is a song by the Korean duo Norazo, who are known for their eccentric stage and comical lyrics. We actually had a song from them in an older version of Pump Fiesta X, Superman.
And another one called Mackerel.
Another one, Mackerel in Fiesta.
And a remix called Super Mackerel.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, you wanna talk a bit about the lyrics of the song?
Oh yeah, literally like, this is literally about how to become the best salesman. Basically,
yes.
Like they just tell you like in the songs, yeah, just put your hands up in the air, customer service, yada yada yada.
Both to your client. Maybe I don't know if you know, but in some Asian countries, it's polite to bend in front of your customer or somebody who is higher in social hierarchy. And one of the step charts for this song actually puts accent on it. It makes you actually bend and use your hands. But Zillow's not playing it, and you may have seen that Zillow's life bar suddenly dropped. Wanna talk a bit about what happened there?
Sure. This shirt is very mean. So those split brackets, the ones that he tried to do, I think he missed one of them. So those count as like 50-ish combo.
Yeah,
like,
it's exactly 50.
It's yeah.
On this jump. Yeah, so in Pump It Up, you need only about 20 misses in a row to drop life bar to 0. And one of the older songs for this Superman from this group, it had similar step charts with the split bracket jumps, but the combo was 51. And in Pump It Up, if you get 51 misses in a row, it's instant game over.
It's instant game over. Yeah, so this is just kind of paying homage to that split.
Yeah,
well,
but
speaking of splits,
at least if you only get 50 misses, you don't game over.
Right.
Yeah, I think Leo didn't stretch enough before the showcase.
Right. Also, you got the broken A.
Yeah, so this means the life bar dropped to 0. Typically, in arcade games, if your life bar drops to 0, it's game over. But in Pump It Up, you can set a special setting to allow yourself to continue, and if you get an A grade, you can still go on. We call it stage break off. And it's pretty good to have your stage break off if you want to motivate new players to improve, or just somebody who's trying to get better to improve. Because if you limit it by life bar, you may be afraid to try something that is a bit harder than your current level. It depends. There are opinions about it.
Looks like we have our boy Yop again with Faster Z from NX2. No, I think this is a chart from later.
Yeah, it's Fiesta EX subchart from what we call a WPF patch. So there used to be a World Pump It Up festival official tournament organized by Endemiro. And this patch was released right before the tournament, and it added a lot of harder difficulties, so the people would have something to play on in finals. That's why we call it WPF patch.
But yeah, this is yet another classical remix. I'm gonna attempt to pronounce this if anyone is German. I apologize if I botched the pronunciation. This is a classical remix of Zigierno Weisen by Pablo de Sarasate. And yeah, this chart has a lot going on. Like there's like these short holds and a lot of twists.
It's a 16th note round that you're forced to twist because those holds. I think they also have step in front of them, so you have to press the head.
Right.
I'm not quite sure. Yeah, it has some small bursts that have fast movement from side to side. It has those tricky runs, a bit of slowdown. What's going on? Very typical low-level boss chart. And I'm saying low-level, but it's low for boss chart.
Oh, we'll get to some of the boss charts later, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're moving straight forward into the boss chart. It's only getting harder from now on. And so, just a reminder, this is a level 23 out of 28. We're getting close to that highest edge.
Look at ZELLLOO go.
Yeah, he's really good at this chart. It's really fun, but it's also really hard to perform.
It is. Like that part right there, the one that just yanks you like across pant size. That's rude.
Wow, it's really clean for this difficulty. Only a few greats and only one good. I see pieces. It's small on my end, hard to see. Yes.
That's
just
still
a few
very
misses.
good effort.
Yeah, it's very solid run considering how complicated this step chart is. I really like this song. I think from the mix where it appeared called NX2, it's probably one of the most solid set of original step charts. Like the one we still have in game.
Yeah.
I really like both D21 and S19. Really fun.
Ooh, now this one's pretty spicy.
Yeah, if you play Cytus 2, you may have heard this song. I think it's in Corner Chapter. Yeah, it's by Japanese composer Sakuzio.
Yep.
Who's making amazing music.
Yep, another J music, also featured in the Japanese version of Prime 1 before it made its way to the rest of the world. And it's already gonna hit you with those brackets. Yep. This song is amazing though. See, it just hits you with that run just right away. And he has to twist in a very almost awkward position, almost in like a 180, 270 degree.
Yeah,
he has to really move.
It also supposedly has spins, but almost nobody does it, maybe except John Tran.
Right.
Our fellow player from West Coast, and also person who helped us with Infinity 2.
Right.
Yeah, you can see ZELLLOO's twisted all the way, and then all the way back. These holes actually don't have steps, so you can just stand in the middle 4 and not move. But that's not fun.
Well, let's see if he hits. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there's a spin.
Yeah.
That's a big combo going.
He is doing really well.
Yeah, it's one of his specialty step charts.
Like, it just throws everything at you at once. And up, yep, there's that run.
Those very awkward turns.
Right.
And they're also in the middle 4, so it's hard to read.
Yeah, when I was playing on a friend's machine, like, he had the original sight pops from Fiesta EX, and one of them says twist more rapidly. Yeah, you can clearly see that here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and there was that surprise bracket ending.
Clap.
What's a Korean rhythm game without some surprises, right?
One great again. ZELLLOO was devastated. Wow. He wanted to get full perfect.
Oh.
But that's still an amazing score, considering it's only 4 levels below the hardest step chart of the game.
That ties my best.
That's insane.
Amazing run.
That is not easy.
Yeah, and we get it only harder from
Yep,
here.
and we are getting into the big kids charts. Well, that's what he likes to tell me anyways.
It's more like alien charts from now on. Human territory has ended.
Yep, we're all in it's only for non-humans.
Do you have time for a quick message before y'all get going?
Of course.
Yes.
I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to let anyone know who is new here or just joining that we are here with Blackheart's Boston Fund, which is a mutual aid fundraiser organized to help out a wonderful friend of the Fairy Fatales, Stardew Valley, and the overall speedrunning community, Blackheart Wings, also known as Gabby. She's currently going through a major life change and is crowdsourcing funds in order to afford her move to Boston and make sure she can afford travel, housing, and other basic necessities. We have all come together to create this event for her, and with your donations, we can help change Gabby's life and make sure that she can move safely to live the life she wants to live.
Heck yeah, make sure to get those donations going.
And we do still currently have that Adopt the Pet Stardew Valley incentive that is tied between cat and dog, which is the next run coming up by Gabby herself. So if you want to see a dog adopted or a cat adopted, get those donations in. You can turn the tide right now.
I'm biased, vote for cats. And
Well, you know,
here we
Pump It
have-
Up has a lot of cats, so...
Yes. Here we have a very interesting song and very interesting step chart for the song. I believe it was also in BMS contest.
I think, yeah, it was originally made for a BMS contest. This was made by Indonesian artist, Don.
DAAN.
D-A-A-N.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. It has 200 BPM and it also has a very lengthy slowdown, which we're getting into right now.
Right.
So that means you have to process a lot of arrows at once, and many people have problems with that. And consider it's pretty much unbroken run at this fast BPM. It's hard.
Yeah, not everyone can read slow. It just looks like a pile of arrows.
Yeah, the higher you
To a lot
get
of
in
people.
difficulty, the more is going on in the song. You can see there is fast run, there are brackets, there are slow down, there's a lot of movement involved, some turns, everything.
Oh, there's that typical boss run at this level.
Yep, very movement heavy run where you throw your body from one side to the other really quickly. And also throws you in some bracket drills where one foot has to press two panels.
Right. You probably saw those little scale-like things, like the 30 seconds that you may think that you're supposed to hit really fast, legitimately with two things without bracketing. No, you are meant to bracket those.
That's a really good score. Remember, it's only 3 levels below the hardest chart in the game.
And it was only going higher from here.
Yeah, it's only 8 misses on level 25, it's considered high level play for sure.
Ooh.
I believe ZELLLOO has at least one great S on the level 25, means he did it without any misses at all.
Crazy.
Yeah, very skilled player.
Yeah. Also, I've heard many people pronounce that song very differently. There's friend, and then there's fiend, and then there's friend, and I'm just like, alright, you do you.
I mean, it's both friend and fiend, that's
Friend and
why
fiend.
R is in parentheses.
Right.
I'm
Never
pretty
mind
sure
that.
I'm pretty sure Dan has some explanation to the title, and I believe the song is a part of a trilogy that Dan composed, including Aklois and one more song. I forgot what was the third one.
I should just call it friend if I ever meet Don.
I call it friend, I'm lazy. I'm also trying to stay positive, so friend, no fiend.
Now we have
classic.
Oh, what a classic. We have Chimera. Oh man, where do I even start with here? So, a little bit about
the showcase is
song.
very heavy on Yap songs.
Yeah.
That's what I
We have our boy Yop back. So this is his remix of Queen of the Night and the Magic Flute by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart from Pump It Up NX. This is a very infamous boss chart from NX1 that apparently took the person who wrote this chart like 3-4 months, partially because 1, both Yop and the step team lead kept telling him to make it harder, and 2, he didn't know what he was doing most of the time. So we got this.
Yeah, we can blame the step leader. We all know who it was. Yeah, also specifics of making step charts. It may look good on paper, but when you try it in arcade, it instantly becomes harder because on paper you can see the speed of the song, and the song is very fast. It's 210 BPM. So what looks good in theory, in fact, becomes very, very close to human possibilities just because how fast the song is.
Right. This chart was like released in like 2006, 2007, and it's still like it's still very Chimera. Is all I can say.
It's still very bossy. Even the song, it sounds very, very bossy. It's one of my favorite higher level songs.
Right.
Just because how epic it is.
Yeah, there's just a lot of nonsense in this chart. It's pretty funny.
At least it got some hold so you can restore your life bar.
Up and down. There's the one where you have to go down on all 6.
See? A sign you have to be octopus or an alien at the end. Yeah, you have to fall down and use your hands. Unless you have like
maybe we'll have to ask the step artist if this chart was made for humans.
Step artist said I value human life and refuse to play this.
Yeah.
So definitely not for humans. Yeah, but normal human usually have to use hands. You need very, very sensitive platform and pretty big feet to be able to only press it with feet. Very few people can actually do it. Most just use hands. Or your body! If you're sly enough to do that.
Just body slam the pads. What could go wrong?
Yeah, there is a unique step chart that uses 8-panel hit.
Right.
Level 24 over.
And we're coming to our last song.
Co-op remix.
You may notice that ZELLLOOO moved out of difficulty folder to a folder called Remix. And that means the song he's gonna play is a bit longer than standard length in Pump It Up. It's also a remix or mashup of 2 different songs, Vacuum and Cleaner, both by Korean composer Doin.
Vacuum cleaner.
Many people pretty much believe that he composed Cleaner specifically to make this remix and call it Vacuum Cleaner. Vacuum was released one game before Cleaner and this remix.
I want to point out real quick for this remix, the BPM is a nice, even 222.22 BPM, and this D27 step chart has exactly 2,222 steps.
And we call it Vacuum Cleaner number. Just like Konami has special numbers, Pump It Up has some too. Like 2222 or 86.
But yeah, this is definitely a chart of its time. This was the boss song, and also the double 27 is the boss chart from FSTX. This was also the first 27 to ever be in the game. Though in Phoenix it's now at 26.
First officially called 27. Remember, there was one before.
All right. Yeah.
I do want to say real quick, I am going to try and prioritize a pass over scoring because I am very tired, but I want to thank you all for being here.
Good luck. Push it.
Let's go.
Chat, let's send some energy to ZELLLOOO. He needs it. It's one of 10 hardest songs in the game. It's really hard.
Right.
And he's been playing non-stop for more than an hour. Let's send him some energy.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It's funny, they actually tried to make this chart harder in Phoenix when they first showed off like one of the alpha builds or so in Play X4 in one of the Korean shows. Yeah, and the person who wrote this chart was very visibly upset about the changes, so it is now back to its original form.
Because it's such an iconic chart, you just...
It is.
sometimes you just don't touch things if they are so
Right.
iconic.
So the step artist of this chart, Windforce, he's definitely known for like writing a lot of boss charts for a lot of Doin songs.
He's one of my personal favorite step artists.
He is also a very good player.
Yeah. He's one of several people who got a life bar pass on the level 28 and
Right.
earned a title of master. XX introduced a system of titles to pump it up, and people very interested in getting those titles because it's new and very exciting and motivating for them. You may also notice that ZELLOOO has a title of specialist, which is not easy to get either. You have to fulfill requirements on 50 different step charts to get the title. I believe less than 10 players in the world have title of specialist.
Right. Definitely not an easy title to get. That's oh, that's a journey. Yeah, it's funny. It's people think like compared to all the other level 27s we have in the game, like this is the quote-unquote easiest 27, which is a crazy pair of words because it's still hard.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but compared to other level 27 that are currently in the game that became much harder, much more elaborated, yeah, you can say it's an easy one.
Right.
Still, does it make it easier to pass it? Remember, it's 222 BPM.
Let's go, Phil.
I think it's the very end. Hard to tell.
It
Pump It
is
Up
hard
Life
to
Bar is
tell.
not very clean at the very end.
Right.
So
Oh,
close.
he almost made it. That was very good effort, though.
Very, very good effort. Made it up to last, what, 20,
Right.
30 steps. And remember, it's at the end of a 1 hour long showcase.
Yeah, ZELLLOO has just been beasting.
Wonderful performance.
And that was Pump It Up.
And that is time. So, I want to thank everyone for coming out. Just everybody who came out for the marathon to support Gabby, watching, donating, sharing. And I really want to thank the staff, because Osborne reached out to me out of the blue, and he was like, hey, we're trying to do this for Gabby. You want to do Pump for us? And me being the speedrunner I am, I'm not going to say no. But I was really happy to be able to do this one last showcase for XX to help Gabby out. Especially since, like I said, Pump It Up Phoenix, the newest game, will be released internationally next month. So it's kind of fun to give XX one last send-off before we move into the new game. So I want to give a big shout out to Haru and Vincent for the wonderful commentary and support as always. Like, my wonderful, loving wife and one of my best friends being here with me to support such a great cause. And I want to support everyone who came out, especially from the Pump It Up community and the music game community. Y'all rock. If y'all want to find me, I do a lot of this on Twitch at twitch.tv/ZELLOOO, and I also do speedruns like Doom 64 and other various shenanigans. So if there's anything else you all want to plug real quick.
Thanks for having us, and don't forget to hydrate.
Boys, thank you for having me, and please stay hydrated and keep those donations rolling. I really want to see what the bid war is ending.